All right, back to the review. We are on number 12. Number 12 says divide. Write your answer in those terms. That's kind of reinforcing what we did. And number 11, we're dividing fractions. How do you divide fractions? You keep, change, flip is the expression. Keep the first fraction as it was, change the division to a multiplication, and flip the second one. Must be the second one. You can reduce on the spot, or you can multiply across the top and across the bottom. I usually don't do it this way, times 25, because I'm making really big numbers, and then I have to reduce them. Let's see, is 450 divisible by 15? Whoops, 450 divisible by 15. Yes, it is. They're certainly both divisible by 5, but that's the short way. Personally, I like to reduce them on the spot. Why make them bigger and then make them smaller? 5s, don't forget you can, this is not cross multiplying. This is just thinking of these as this is 3 times 5 on the top here, 5 times 3, and this is 25 times 25. So I'm kind of thinking like this. And I'm just kind of getting rid of those, which gives a 1, and what's left is this times this is 30. Okay? Some people are really good at reducing fractions, so that's not a problem. I find it easier just to reduce, and then I don't have to reduce over here, and then I don't have to do it over there. Okay, your choice. Please show me what you're going to do. All right, next problem. Order of operations. I've got parentheses and I've got a square. If you want to, you can square this one first, or you can just leave it as is, but you definitely need to find out that 5 plus 7 is 12 minus 6. Must do that next. It's very tempting to do something else, but it's not going to work out for you. And then add these all together. Add these two and then subtract 6, and you should get, you should get, okay, 4 over 5 minus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 5. This is a good one. I believe I wrote that correctly. Yes, I did. Double check I wrote it down right. And then what do I need to be able to add fractions? I can multiply together anything I want. They don't have to match the denominators or anything. But when it comes to adding, I cannot add fractions unless I have common denominators. Okay? That means when I go to add and subtract them, they have to have the same number on the bottom. Now, I can't turn a 3 into a 5, and I can't turn a 5 into a 3, so I need an LCD. And in this case, they have no factors in common, so I'm going to multiply 3 times 5 and get a 15. So that means this needs to be a 15, this needs to be a 15, and this needs to be a 15. Okay? Now, to get there, 4 over 5 needs to be turned into something with a 15 on the bottom. Well, how do I go from 5 to 15? I multiplied by 3. To make an equivalent fraction, multiply by 3 and get a 12. So that's a 12. 4/5 is an equivalent fraction, not more, not less, to 12/15. They're the same amount of stuff. Okay, do you want 5/5 of a pizza, or do you want 12/15 of a pizza? Well, it turns out to be the same amount. Okay, so 1/3 needs to be turned into something with a 15 on the bottom. Well, 3 times 5 got me the 15. So to make an equivalent fraction, it's 1 times 5, which makes it 5/15. Okay? So they're not equivalent to each other. They're just being turned into fractions that have a 15 on the bottom. Okay? So then 1 over 5 equals something over 15. This was times 3 and this was times 3. So that's 3/15. Okay, so if you had to walk off to the side and do this, or scribble it up in here, do something to convert these fractions to like denominators, and then you're able to do 12 minus 5 plus 3, okay, and get 10. And remember, the bottom doesn't change. If I have 12 of them, minus 5 of them, plus 3 of them, that makes that, and then that needs to be reduced by 5. I don't know of a shorter way to do that. Okay. Let's see if I can get another piece of paper here. There we go. All right. 15. Probably one of the problems that nobody seems to be able to get. Remember what I just said about adding fractions that don't have like denominators. So in this particular case, what number could be on both of the bottoms? Well, I think you could use a 6 for an LCD, because 6 is a multiple of 3. So that means I get to keep the 1/6 and turn the 1/3 into a fraction that has a 6 on the bottom. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I multiply 2 times 3 to get 6. So multiply the 1 times 2 to get 2. So 1/3 is the same as 1/6. So 1/6 and 2/6 equal 3/6. 3/6 is the same thing as, remember, stay in the parentheses as long as you can. Do everything that needs to be done. I like to do it there, so I'm not working with bigger numbers than I have to, and then I have to reduce at the end. So this is the same as 1/2 times 1/2, right? Cross the top, cross the bottom, 1/4. Okay. Word problem for 16. A recipe calls for oatmeal cookies. Calls for 3 cups of flour. 3 cups of flour for every 9 cups of oatmeal. I like to make kind of a ratio out of that right away. Okay. How much flour? Okay, how much flour for 27 cups of oatmeal? All right, so basically this is an equivalent fraction. Proportions are equivalent fractions. They are. One fraction equals another fraction. That's a proportion. Okay, 1/3 equals 2/6. 3/9 equals what over how many cups of flour over 27 cups of oatmeal? So 3/9 equals what over 27? So one way to solve proportions is to cross multiply. What is 27 times 27 times 3? I'm not a fan of cross multiplying. I had to pick up my calculator. What's 3 times? This is 81. Divide by 9. You're doing real algebra before I've really taught you how to do real algebra yet. So I got to be honest with you. I just go, okay, 3/9, 27. I took, what did I do up here? I did 9 times 3. 27 divided by 9 is 3. So 3 times 9 is 27. So if that's times 3, then this times 3, then that's 9. I accept that, okay? I think this is important as a setup so you understand that you are making a proportion or equivalent fractions from the word problem. That's an important step. How you solve that is up to you after that, okay? Make sure you're showing some sort of work, please. Let's see, what's the next one to say? The cost of 18.3 gallons. I just sort of start writing gallons of gas at $4.70 per gallon. What is the total cost? Okay, think about it. This is my unit price. 1 gallon. So if you want to make a proportion, you could say that's the cost, that's the dollars, cost for 1 gallon. What's the cost for 18 gallons? Is one way to think about it. And then you can solve it by cross multiplying, or this is what 1x equals whatever 4 times 18.3 is 86.01, and that's basically your answer. I don't know that you need to do all that. I personally would definitely accept. I mean, that's just 86.01. I'm just trying to show you how that works into this section, okay? That is what you're doing when you do that. A lot of people know that they're just multiplying it. They do this every day when they fill up their tank of gas, or they buy something and it's so much per unit, and I have this many of them. How much is the total? Do that all the time. I'm just showing you that behind that is this proportion setup, okay? That is just one way to think about it. You have to show me something, so I need an equation of some kind, okay? It doesn't have to be a proportion. 18 says convert 9% to a decimal. The rule for percent, the definition for percent is anything that's a percent is what it is over 100. And then you can just go 9 divided by 100 in your calculator, or by hand, and basically you're moving it. Some people remember this as when you divide by 100, you're moving it by 2 decimal places, so 0.09. There's not a lot of work to show. Try to figure out how to show me something. I'll even take the swoopy part. This is 9.0%, so you're moving it 2 places this way. All right, unacceptable would be a 0.9. What is that? That's 90%. Okay, so it's 0.9 is 90%, so 0.09 is 9%. Okay. 19, 4, 3.7, 0.5. Oh, is that a word problem? Sorry, jumped right in there. No, it's just multiply. Okay. Multiply. You can do that by hand. Make sure that you have 2 decimal places, so this moves over 2 places, okay? 20, write 0.6 as a fraction in its simplest form. Well, what place value is this? This is the tenths place, right? If it's also 0.60 is the same thing as 0.6, that's 60 over 100. They're equivalent things. Not trying to be confusing. I'm just saying that's equivalent. What are all these reduced to? Sorry, that looks weird. Let me get that back out of the way. I was sidetracking there. Don't need to know all that. They're even divisible by 2. What was I doing again? Sorry. 20 said write in its fraction in its simplest form. Okay, I'm doing it. Right? Yes. Okay. 21. 21 in the review is missing something. I don't know if I fixed that or not. Convert that, that number. Sorry, let's try again. 3,085 milligrams to grams. There should be something there that said 1 gram, because I would tell you this on the test if you needed to. 1 gram equals 1,000 grams. You don't need to memorize that. You can always, if in real life, you always Google. Everybody Googles what the conversion is, okay? But you need to know how to use it. So this is how I do it. It might seem like kind of the long way, but it works for everything. I take the given amount, 3085, and write it over a 1. Okay? Then I multiply that by whatever it takes to give me my answer. So this they gave me in milligrams. So I don't want milligrams anymore, so I'm going to write it at the bottom. What I do want is grams. So then I look at this conversion they gave me after I write that, and it says a 1 next to the gram part and 1,000 next to the milligram part. So this is this. Okay, that's my conversion unit. My conversion factor, they will give you that on the test. Okay, I forgot to put it on the review. Hopefully I fixed that. And then your multiplying fraction. So go across the top, go across the bottom, and then reduce. And feel free to give a decimal for those. Okay. Totally acceptable is just this part. All right, but I'm trying to show you milligrams would reduce units away, which leaves you with the grams that you're going to get, that you need for your answer, okay? Let's do the rest on another video.